In this video, we're going to be going through focus note taking from a single source, and we are going to be using Google Scholar, which is a fantastic resource that you can use for completing research. Now, the advantage of using Google Scholar over regular Google is Google Scholar will only search articles. So you're going to get much more reliable information using Google Scholar than you would just from a regular Google search. So for this demonstration, we are going to be looking up climate change. Okay, so if I just type in climate change and I click the search button, we get 10 million articles. Okay, that's a lot of information. So we have some ways of kind of whittling this down into something that's more manageable. So let's go over to the left here, and you notice there are 3 filters that we can use. We can use a range, a date range. Okay, so we have a couple different options here. And then you can also click on custom range if you want to put in certain years. So let's say if I wanted to do anything from, I don't know, 1990 until now, that gives us 17,000 articles. We could do since 2025, that gives us 17,000 articles. Okay, so notice the number of articles changes depending on the date range. So let's keep it at, I don't know, since 2021. Here we can have it sort by relevance or date. So if we sort it by date, more recent articles will appear up at the top. Like this one was published 3 days ago. All right. And then we can also have it list any articles and then review articles. Okay. Now, review articles are articles that have been peer reviewed, which are going to be much more credible than if just anybody wrote an article. Okay. So notice if I go to any type, that's 3.6 million articles. And if I click on just review articles, that narrows it down to more than half of that. Okay. So these are some filters that we can use. And let's go ahead and let's pick an article here. Okay, so here we go. Let's just click on this one. Okay, so it loads up the page. Now, each source is going to be different, but on each source you should have a PDF option, or it may display the whole thing in the page like it does here, so I don't have to open up the PDF. But if you click on the PDF option here, it will open it up as a PDF document, and you can download it to your computer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and download this to my computer, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. Okay, this specific source that I'm using also has a citation option, so it will give me the citation right here if I wanted it. It's got all the author's information right here. Okay, so the first thing we need to do once we find an article is we're going to fill this out. Now, how do I know that this is a good article? Well, every article usually has what's called an abstract. So the abstract gives you a really brief explanation of what the article is about. Okay, so it's usually about a paragraph or so. So you can read an abstract and it'll give you a good idea of what the article's on. Okay, so this one's kind of talking about what climate change is and the current state of climate change. Okay, so this seems like it's going to be a good article for what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out my template here. So I want to start with the title. So I'm going to copy and paste the title here. All right. And the authors. Oops, looks like it missed a space there. Okay, so the authors. Okay, I'm going to just copy it from over here and paste those in. Okay. Publisher. Let's see, is the publisher listed on here? I do not see it up here. Published by Wiley Periodicals. Okay, so I'm just going to include as much information as I can find on here. It looks like it does not give us a city or state. Publication date. Looks like it was published in 2020. Received, revised, accepted 2021. Looks like the most recent date here, so we'll call this the date right here. Okay, now, reading the article, you would want to find information that's relevant. So this is a lengthy article. It's 29 pages long. Okay, but let's say I had a specific question. So let's say I was writing a research paper or an argumentative paper, and I was looking for identifying ways that climate change is hurting the environment, for example. Okay, so you can read the whole article, or you can use a tool like ChatGPT to help you. So I have ChatGPT pulled up here, and I'm going to upload the PDF of my article, and I'm going to ask it a question. So I'm going to say, within this article, what does it say about the bad or the harmful effects of climate change? Okay, so it'll read the whole article for you, and then it'll pull out specific things related to your question. Okay, so here you go. So it talks about material degradation, talks about structural damage, temperature-related damage. Okay, so I'm going to pick one here. Let's look at temperature-related damage. Okay, now if you notice, it gives me a summary. It says warmer temperatures increase the freeze-thaw cycles and diurnal temperature variations. Okay, so maybe you don't know what this means because there's a lot of big words in here. I can highlight that and I can say, what does this mean in simple terms? Okay, so it's talking about how water gets trapped and it creates cracks in materials. Okay, so let's go back to our sheet here, our worksheet. Okay, so that works. Okay, so the question or topic related to the research. So I'm going to go back here, and we were looking at what was it? It was structural damage or temperature related damage. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to paste in. This is talking about temperature related damage, and I can just copy and paste what ChatGPT says here, or if I want to use the simpler version, I can do that. Okay, so a paraphrase is kind of what this is, or a summary. Paraphrase would be rewording what the article says. Okay, so when temperatures go up and down frequently, water trapped in stone or ceramic materials can freeze and then thaw repeatedly. Since water expands when it freezes, this process creates tiny cracks in the material. Over time, these cracks grow bigger, causing the stone or ceramics to weaken, chip, or even break apart faster than usual. Okay, so under the analysis box, you would talk about how this relates to your argument or how you could use this. Okay, so it's talking about structural damage, so I might be thinking about how it could affect repair costs. It could make it expensive for people to maintain their homes because there's going to be more wear and tear on their houses than normal. So I would just write a really quick sentence or two on how this is important and how it could relate to what I'm writing about. Okay, so I'm looking for about 3 different things from that article that I can fill in. So topic that is related to your research, kind of a summary or a direct quote or a paraphrase from the article, and then an analysis of how it kind of relates to the topic or the argument that you are researching. Okay, and you want to make sure that you fill in the top here with all the information. Okay, and that's it. That's all you need to do here. So ChatGPT is a great source, especially for some of those larger articles. You can upload the article and you can ask it to read those articles for you, or you can read through it yourself, whatever works best for you. Okay?